this is kind of hectic right now, but I'll explain everything. So the reason why I'm making this video to start there is that everyone's glazing the absolute hell out of this new Sukuna unit, saying that he's better than Escanor, and better than Kaguya, and better than Guts, when that's just blatantly wrong. And obviously clickbait, I think it's pretty obvious, but they're actually taking it really seriously. So he got a new Vanguard Familiar, and here's what the Vanguard Familiar does. Applies cleave on every hit, boosts damage by 2 times, and range by 30%. That's important. And a follow-up attack. So I don't have the finger, but I do have a sandbox mode, which allows me to replicate that. What's important about this, and what you want to focus on for this, is look at his DPS and damage and range. I will be replicating that with properties. I can only get his DPS as close as possible. To make up for that, I gave him an extra 200,000 excess damage and range to make up for the lack of the familiar. But yes, what matters most is right now is the DPS and damage and range, because everyone's saying that he has the highest DPS, which is just blatantly incorrect. So how this testing is going to work, I'm going to spawn a boss with a certain amount of health, and I'm going to figure out how much damage can he do to that one boss, starting from the range that's directly at their spawn all the way over here, as much as I can get it to. I'll be popping his nuke ability immediately, since it buffs his damage, which is also really important to have that. And we're going to see how much damage he can do. Now I gave him huge excess in damage and range to make up for the lack of cleave that I have. But as you see in a second, sorry, it's like my 4th take, it's getting into my head. As you see in a second, that the damage difference between him and Escanor is so high that it doesn't even matter how much more damage and range you have. I don't think he'd catch up. So his nuke relies on him getting kills to get 30% extra damage boost. So as you can see here, Nag boxes, which he has the Sukuna finger probably maxed out too, and not Monarch. This is his DPS and damage and range after he uses his nuke ability, which is 30% extra damage. What I want you to focus on most is the damage and range, as that's the most important part. Since that's what we're testing right now, since that seems to be the thing that's being glazed the most alongside his DPS. So let's spawn in Bambietta, and we're gonna immediately pop the nuke to give him that extra damage. So I gave him an extra 10,000 excess DPS with an extra 600,000 damage and range, again to make up for a lack of cleave. And obviously I'll show you why that doesn't even matter. Even if he had double damage from what he had right now, I don't think he'd catch up. So just let him do his thing here. And I have a calculator on standby. Ignore the numbers here, those are previous numbers. How do I delete everything? I'm not sure how long this lasts for. I believe it's infinite, right? He keeps his 30% damage boost for indefinitely. Let me disable waves. And I'll put him on bosses only, just so he doesn't get distracted, since he's using the cone AoE. So 198, right? 198. Oops, wrong number. The calculator isn't very responsive. And yes, we'll wait till his burn and status effect is also, I believe he's doing dismantle, or whatever that is right there. Is that cleave? Is that what it's called? This one here? Is that cleave or dismantle? I'm not sure. So wait for him to fully do all his damage and for all his damage over time to proc. Sorry for my voice, by the way. Coughing a lot again. So wait till she stops taking damage entirely. 180.4 minus 180.4. 17.6 million damage to a boss if he attacked from start to finish with his ability. Now let me show you Escanor here. Is that his right? No, okay, hold on, wait. Get his range to be about the same right at the spawn. I'll put him in only bosses because he's gonna get distracted if I don't. We're gonna max him out first. This is my Escanor, it's not a boosted one, it's just mine that I have in my inventory. Same boss. Ultimate and his nuke. Oh, yeah, pop both abilities. Oh, well, I already used his nuke once before to show off that. Again, it's like my 4th take. So how much did he do? 17.6 million. Yeah, 17.6 million to a boss. I don't think we need a nuke to beat that number. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even think Escanor needs his nuke. No, I usually get higher numbers in this. I don't know why I have 1.37 million. I do have his best. It's familiar. I don't think it's not maxed out though. His familiar is nowhere near maxed out. We're at 14 million right now. About halfway through his range. Almost 20 million. Okay, we beat his number already. And we still have a lot more range to go. So I just let this sit there for a second. Really take that in. Also, my volume's off, so this is probably gonna be a very boring video. I'll do some editing. I won't be that lazy. 197 million. $195. And as we did with Sukuna, we'll wait for the burn to proc as well. Number was 17.6. Let's put that in our thing up here, just so I remember it. That's his last attack. And then we're waiting for the burn to proc. 185, so 224.57, so 224.57 minus 185.35, 185.35, 39.22 minus 17.6. That's around 21, almost 22 million extra damage than Sukuna did in range. Benefit of the doubt, 18 times 2 is 36 million, which is about what he did. So he did twice as much as Sukuna. Sukuna wasn't even close. He wasn't even close. It wasn't even a competition against him. It was not even a competition. Let me get side by side. Hold on one second. Again, I've said this a million times before. I'll say it a million times again. These tier lists are just completely wrong. They don't even play their own game. I don't know what they're doing. They pick Griffith up here. I've made other tier lists with Yuabaha, and Yuabaha is below Skull King. Like, easily below the King. He is way worse than the King. Maybe even Gojo's better than him. I wouldn't push it that far. But the tier lists, they're on something. I don't know what they're doing on tier lists, but they are just misinformation, like, constantly. But yeah, that's all I want to say. See ya.